the program that shows you how to have a life of vibrant well-being. In a world full of noisy health trends, we bring you clarity. We reveal the science-backed strategies that truly work in a sea of fads. We explore the physical strength, emotional resilience, and mental mastery. These are the keys to an enriched life. Join us for inspiring interviews with champions who've conquered life's health challenges. Are you ready to unlock your potential to live with vitality and purpose? Then join the health revolution. I'm your host, Adriana Morrison, health and fitness expert, speaker, and a mom who understands. Let's embark on this transformative quest. Together, we're about to change the game, starting now. The information provided in this show is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Viewers should use their own discretion and consult with a healthcare professional for personalized guidance and recommendations. Evolution. And I'm so excited that you are here joining us today. I'm your host, Adriana Morrison, and no matter which way you're tuning into us, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. We want to stay connected to you. Also, at the bottom of your screen, there's a tab for show episode notes. You're going to want to take note of that because there's some important information about today's episode. And we're excited to have those conversations about elevating our health, the health revolution, elevating our physical strength, the emotional resilience, as well as the mental mastery. And today we are talking about the power of CBD, what we've learned from it, what we may not realize the benefits are, and where this can help us in terms of healing naturally. And I'm excited for you to learn about our next guest. We're going to have an important conversation. First, to get to know her, take a look at this. Meet Dawn Norby, a compassionate innovator whose journey into holistic healing began with a heartfelt mission. Dawn was first introduced to the power of hemp while working with a Make-A-Wish child battling the side effects of chemotherapy. After speaking with doctors and researching tirelessly, she developed an all-natural CBD salve that helped the child regain his ability to play with his brother, an inspiring start to her mission. Today, Dawn is the founder of Budding Botanicals, where she and her family create over 19 all-natural CBD products in small, controlled batches. With a commitment to using only the highest quality ingredients, Dawn has dedicated her work to helping people find relief and reclaim joy in their lives. In today's episode, we'll uncover Dawn's incredible journey, the science behind her products, and how holistic solutions can make a transformative impact. Dawn Norby, welcome to the show. How are you?
So much for having me.
I'm excited about to talk about this topic today because there's so much that, CBD has in recent times has become more of a forefront for us to look at as beneficial remedies. And so I'm curious, what were the beginning days of you getting to know how powerful CBD can be?
Well, it would have to be back in 2006. Our eldest child was 8 and he was bruising easily, and the doctors didn't know what was going on, and they sent us home. And so my husband said, call our doctor. ER doctors don't know what they're talking about. So we went to our doctor, and he was very calm and collected and said, let's just take some blood tests and we'll get back to you in about a week. Okay. And he called me the next day crying, saying that we think Trevor has leukemia and they have a bed waiting for him at Rady's Hospital in San Diego. And that kind of panicked us for a moment because he was at school playing, having fun, no problem. He didn't show any signs other than he looked a little grayish, and he was bruising very easily. Those were the only signs. So we took him to the hospital, and we put him in, and they took some blood, and they immediately had to give him a platelet transfusion because his platelets were so scary low. And they checked him when he was done, and they gave him a few billion platelets in this transfusion, and his body only accepted about 7,000. So they knew they had something wrong, and they had to figure it out. And they came back and they said, well, your son does not have cancer. He doesn't have leukemia. He's got something that we aren't sure what it is, but we're going to keep testing him and keep him here. We're going to give him another transfusion in the meantime. And they came back that evening and said he's got idiopathic aplastic anemia. And that is where your bone marrow just stops working. And in Trevor's case, it happened to be his platelets that stopped working. And they don't know why. That's why it's called idiopathic. It means we don't know why, we don't know how, it just happens. And so they ended up giving him a few different transplant or transfusions, and they sent him home. And after about 5 months, they gave him the okay to go back to school, that he was okay, and we're just going to play it by ear. Every month or so, come in for a blood draw. We did that and then skipped forward to 8th grade. This was 4th grade he happened. And then 8th grade, he developed a secondary condition called PNH. And that's where his red blood cells stopped working. And he was tired. He wasn't getting oxygen to his body. And the only cure for PNH and idiopathic aplastic anemia is a bone marrow transplant. And it was decided then and there, let's get him on the list and see if we can find a donor for him. And during this time, the nurses came to us and said, we'd like to offer Trevor a wish for Make-A-Wish. Can we get his name into Make-A-Wish? And we were very skeptical because we had always assumed it was for terminally ill children. And it's not. It's just for children with a illness that could be terminal. So they just have to have a bad illness. And so, boom, we did it. And he wanted to go play Augusta in Atlanta, and they said no. So we said, reach for the stars, babe. Because, well, I want to go where golf started. I want to go to Scotland and play St. Andrews. And we were just blown away by that. We had no idea what his wish would be. And 10 days later, all 4 of us in the family were on a plane to Scotland. And they treated Trevor like royalty. They treated him to 5 different golf courses with caddies. We all had a driver. We all had, everything was paid for, our food, the driver, the golf courses, everything that we did, our entertainment, to go see castles. It was the wish of a lifetime. And then we get home and he's going through the transplant. And when they're doing this, before the transplant, they had to give him chemo to shut down his entire immune system. And he was in a lot of pain. And he goes, Mom, I just don't want the meds they're going to give me. I don't want to get addicted to these drugs. Help me. And so I called Dad and said, hey, can you come to the hospital and switch places with me and just talk with Trevor, because he needs somebody to talk to, and I'm not the one right now. So he came and they talked about every single golf shot they hit on this trip. 5 days worth of golfing, and every shot at every golf course. And it enabled Trevor to get through all of this pain that he had and focus on something else, the end game, and just to be able to get through it without the drugs that he didn't want. And the next day we were talking about it, and that's when I knew I wanted to volunteer for Make-A-Wish.
What an incredible, that's incredible that they were able to support your family that way. And I'm so glad that you clarified, because I knew, all I ever thought was that if it was a terminal condition, that they would be able to honor a child's wishes. But it's good to know that it's not necessarily that. And what was going through your mind as a mom?
I knew that my child was going to be okay. From the moment the doctor called me crying, I knew Trevor was a fighter. I knew he was never going to let this battle beat him. And my husband felt the same way. So I think having an attitude of getting through something like that completely and knowing you're going to be okay is half of the battle. And that's what I believe got us through. And he did ask me when we were going through the first set of treatments, he goes, Mom, am I going to die? And that takes a mother's heart and just rips it out of her. And I looked at him and I go, honey, I've never lied. Yeah, you are going to die, but this is not what's going to kill you. He goes, oh, okay, let's get it done then. What do we need to do? And it was that attitude that I knew that nothing's going to keep this child down. He's going to get it. He's going to beat it. And he's going to be the great person on this earth that that he's turned into be.
So he goes through the procedure, he goes through the transplant, and what does the recovery look like? And then your journey with Make-A-Wish continues. You are making yourself available to just lend a helping hand. What
Correct.
happens afterwards?
So he had to have the transfusion transplant. And there's a minimum of 45 days that you have to stay in the hospital after your transplant. That's bare minimum, the earliest you can leave. And he bet the nurse $1 that he would be out of there on day 45 because he knew his numbers were going to be great. And you have to have a certain amount of numbers for this to be discharged. And on day 45, there was an envelope with a dollar bill on it taped to the outside of his door and said, "You won, you're going home today." And that was phenomenal, but it wasn't the end of the road. He still had a lot where his immune system was still trying to rebuild because they shut down the entire immune system so it would accept the new bone marrow. And it ended up being that after 7 months, they called us and said, he's good, he's clear, he's good to go. Let him have his own life. And we were just elated. And he goes, babe, you did it. You beat this. And he goes, cool. What can I do now? And I said, well, it's time for mom to start volunteering for Make-A-Wish because I want to pay it forward. And I was getting ready to call them, and I noticed a lump on my breast, and I found that I had breast cancer. So put Make-A-Wish on the back plate again. And I went through everything that Trevor went through. And it's just his chemo was 4 days of intense chemotherapy. Mine happened to be 8 weeks of the chemotherapy and then radiation. I'm going to find out I'm all done. New Year's Eve, they said, you're done, you're cleared, you're good. Enjoy next year. And this was back in 2012. So I just called after the new year and called Make-A-Wish and said, I want to volunteer for Make-A-Wish. And I went in and did training, and I started with all the paperwork. And they said, would you like to be a wish person? And I said, yeah. And so they gave me my first wish kiddo, and he was dealing with leukemia. So I could relate, and so could Trevor, with everything that this poor little kiddo was going through and the aches and pains that he had. And that's just horrible that you can relate with children what they're going through. But his mother had no idea. She could not relate. And she said, why is he in so much pain? What's going on? You know, how do we fix this? And that's when we sat down and we started talking. And I said, I know what he's going through. I can feel his pain. I can tell you exactly how it is. Because when you're sick, you just say, Mom, it hurts. How does it hurt? I don't know. It just hurts. And I was able to help explain it a little more to Mom, what the pain he was going through. So, because she did not want any pharmaceutical drugs in his system at all at the age of 6. So completely understood where she was coming from.
And so she was very clear, she was adamant. And then as you started to, as the story goes, that, you know, you got to know this family, what was the turning point for them? And then for you, what did you discover?
She brought up to me CBD. And at the time, I tried to act like I knew what she was talking about. And I had no clue what CBD was. And she goes, can you try to develop something for him to help him? Because I've heard that it can help with pain. Sure. Okay. You got it. So I went home and talked to my husband, and I go, have you ever heard of CBD? He goes, no. And I called a friend because we were in California that had a dispensary, and he goes, oh, CBD is great. Come on in. We'll teach you all about it. And talked to the doctors also. And they said, as long as it's all natural and organic, go for it, but nothing with any chemicals in it. Okay. So after doing a lot of research, there's a whole bunch of different stuff out there. You can get this CBD from the cannabis plant or the hemp plant. And we chose the hemp plant because there's no THC, which is the psychoactive property in the cannabis plant. So this is all natural. And our bodies make CBD and we produce it. We just don't produce a medicinal amount to have it be effective. And we chose to go with an isolate, which isolates the CBD from anything else in the hemp plant, which if there was a bee that came and cross pollinated a plant, it would make sure that none of that THC would get through. So it was just pure CBD grown organically and processed in a water bath process. So he was getting the pure CBD, and that's what we ended up putting into an all natural salve for him. And it worked. He loved it.
And so as he tried it, what did the path look like? How long did it take for him to experience relief, to have a noticeable difference from before?
So I took it to their house, and mom took it upstairs and said, rub this on wherever it hurts. Said, okay. And he goes, Mom, can you help me rub it back here in the back and stuff? And okay. And so she said, okay, I'm going to leave you alone so you can put it wherever you need it. He goes, okay. And then she came down and we were talking, and not even 45 seconds later, this kiddo comes barreling down the stairs as fast as he can and runs outside of the backyard and hops on the trampoline with his brother, and he is excited to play. So it took less than a minute for it to work. And he was able to play with his brother for the first time in almost a year.
Now, when his mom had asked you to make this, it was just something that came to her and you said, okay?
Sure. I mean, you can't tell a mother that's going through something like this with their child, no, I'm not going to help you. No. I mean, I didn't know the first thing. I was a teacher, special ed. I had no idea what I was doing. I had to learn everything. And in this business, I have learned everything by trial and error. I have learned how to make the products all natural, organic, and have them work without adding anything that shouldn't be there, that God didn't give us to work with.
So one thing I love about your story is that you talk about I didn't know I didn't know a thing beforehand. We just dove straight on in.
Yeah.
And when did you discover that this could be the start of something really good?
When he came barreling past me like Roadrunner through the house, I'm like, okay, did you give him something else? Did you give him anything? She's like, no, it's just that stuff you made. And she goes, I need a vat of that. So I have it for him at all times. And it lasted for about 4.5, 5 hours before he had to reapply. And if anybody that has a son and has had a son, they know just how much energy they have. And when they aren't feeling well, you see it in their eyes. It pains you to see them not be able to run and jump and play, because that's what boys do. They are always moving, they're always running. And for this kiddo to be just kind of slumped and sore and tired all the time, to see him go from laying there like a wet noodle to jumping up and down with his brother on the trampoline, it's amazing. And I said, I think we got something here.
When did you
Yeah.
know you needed to take it up another step?
I made a couple more jars and I took them to the hospital and I gave them to our doctor and said, here, if somebody asks for something that is non-medicated, this is all natural. I told them what I did, how I did it. And they gave it to a few of their patients, and they called me and they said, we need more. This stuff is phenomenal. And I wish we could tell every parent, can we give you this instead of that? But I mean, that's how they make their money, is with the pharmaceutical medications. But the doctors at children's hospitals definitely have the best interests of the child at heart and won't necessarily say medications are the best when they know they're not. And if you can go natural, they recommend that. And I think that's great, but they can't force that on a parent or a guardian. You have to be the one to go to them and say, is there something else that we can try?
And we've got a lot to cover. First, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. We're coming right back. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this.
So NAD is something that we use for people who are going through withdrawal symptoms, whether it's opioids, whether it's alcohol. GABA receptors in our brain is something that alcohol affects when we drink. So when you're going through alcohol withdrawals and I give you the calm bag or give you calm with GABA in it, it kind of gives your brain that kind of fix, so to speak, of the alcohol to help with the withdrawal symptoms. I'm not saying it gets rid of them. I'm not saying I give you GABA and you're good to go forever. That's not what I'm saying. It's again, just like everything we offer, it's a relief.
Introducing Launchpad, the perfect partner to help you launch your dream project to the world. We know that time is of the essence, and we're here to help you make the most of it. With Launchpad, you'll get access to the most advanced digital tools and strategies to take your idea from a mere concept to a fully fledged success. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned pro, we have everything you need to make your mark in the world. Launchpad, your ultimate launch partner.
Welcome back to the Health Revolution. We're spending some quality time with our guest today, Dawn Norby. She is the founder of Budding Botanicals. Today, we're talking about the power of CBD and the benefits that would be very important to know about. And Dawn, before the break, you're telling the riveting story of some truly amazing comeback stories, not only for your son Trevor, but your experience with Make-A-Wish and being able to help not only your own son, but another child, with helping them to be pain-free and elevating from that point. And talk to us a little bit about Budding Botanicals and what year did you start afterwards, and then share with us your mission.
So we started Budding Botanicals in 2013. And it has been steadily growing since then with products and different items that we offer. But it gave us a great mission statement to help those that don't want to seek medication. They want an alternative choice to help relieve pain or other ailments that they might have. And that is what's caused us to expand our line of items that we sell. But it started with the salve, and it has helped immensely for many people in many different ways. And since we started all natural and organic, we have decided we are never going a different direction. We are always going to be all natural and organic. We do not do testing on animals. Everything we do is third-party tested, so we know that it's pure, that it's good. It's made in small batches by us at our business here, and we are a family business, so we keep it in the family. We know by making it ourselves that nobody's hampering or tampering or messing with anything, and it's very consistent. So that makes us very proud that we offer something that we can say that is so consistent and is helping people very, very much.
What was it like to create the first product being the salve? What was it like to fine tune and get everything integrated just right so that this was a product that could be depended upon?
Trial and error. It was very scary because this is something I had never done anything like this before. I was a clothing designer. I was a special ed teacher. And now you want me to create something for the body that is going to help alleviate some chemotherapy pain and radiation pain. And never in my life would I have thought I would be anywhere close to this realm of what I'm doing right now. If my child never got sick, I probably never would have done this. But I am forever grateful that I was able to find the knowledge and learn and get everything I needed from the doctors, as well as from Google University, being on the computer a lot, to figure out what needed to go in there and what didn't need to be in there. So it's a very minimal products that we put in our items or our products. So they are very close to being whatever you can pick up from nature.
And so as we mentioned before, that there's 19 products that you have all together. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
19. Okay. So I'd like for us to share with our audience just a breakdown of all the different of what you have to offer. So obviously 2013, and this is a display that you've had just as you are getting the word out. And so when you are at different either conferences or trade shows or different conventions, I would imagine, what's the number one thing that you hear that people ask about when they see your display?
Most of them say, I've tried it, it doesn't work. And that's when I will do two things. One, I will say, where did you purchase your product? And most of the time it's either at a dispensary or at a health food store. And two, would you like to try a free sample?
Okay.
We are a firm believer that if you try the product before you buy the product, you are going to fall in love with it. And we have a 96.8% return customer rate. So the people that do try it and the people that do buy it return over and over again to purchase our products because they do work.
And let's go through some of these. I've got a couple of these that I want to share with our audience, but as we're going through some of this, I want to share with the audience the next slide. This is the tincture, and I just want to share with the audience that I've got this in my hands here. Talk about the tincture and the benefits of this and what it's good for.
Okay, so the tincture is our oral product. We have those and then one other product that is orally taken. And you take this if you have inflammation in your body, if you've got arthritis that is hurting you really bad, if you've had too hard of a workout and it was leg day and you just worked out too much, you can take some internally. And it will help with the inflammation and the soreness. It's good for keeping migraines at bay. And the thing about tincture is you need to take it every day for it to build up in your system. So it's always there. And that way you don't get these migraines coming back. You don't wake up with the sore fingers from arthritis. You can move in the morning when you get up. And that's basically what our tinctures are for people that have that inflammation in their body that need help.
And so the concentration, obviously on the label, I'm holding the one that says 3,000 milligrams. And so there's a varying degree of concentration. Can you say a little bit more about that and what's the benefit for that? Which one is scaled for what scenario?
Okay. So we do make the lightest one we make is a 200 milligram. And that's basically for children because they don't need a lot. They're tiny little bodies. They don't need a lot. It's great for a lot. We have a lot of parents that will order our 200 milligram and their children will now be off of the medications of Ritalin and things like that. So it's great for ADD as well as ADHD. There are no side effects to make them feel like they're a zombie or make them feel like they aren't 100% there. If they give their child too much, they're just going to be tired. And most parents will give them a double dose at night so they sleep well, and a single dose in the morning so they can focus and not be distracted during class time at school, and they can focus on things. Then we move up to the 500 milligram, which is more for teenagers, teens, preteens, because their bodies are a little bigger and they need a little more strength to help them with what they're going through. The next is 1,000 and then 3,000. And those are good for people that are hardcore working out. They do a lot of sports. They're trying to recover from injuries or surgeries, and they're just not moving phenomenally. The 3,000 and the 10,000 are when your body is in a lot of pain and you've been taking the medications and you've been taking the hardcore drugs that totally make you feel like you're completely out of it, but you're not feeling your pain anymore. So you don't really care, but you want to be able to live your life again without the pain, but you want to mentally be there. That's what the 3,000 and 10,000 are for.
And now, are these concentrated amounts common, or is this a level of concentration that Budding Botanicals has made available?
I think most people stick with 1,000 to 2,500.
Okay.
And we have had, because my children are very into sports, and Trevor had to have his rotator cuff surgery and get that all fixed. He was in a lot of pain recovering, so we gave him the 10,000. And when he was coming off of the pain meds that they made him take, we made him a 50,000 milligram CBD tincture. And that was for him to sleep at night. And boy, did he sleep. And he didn't really care. Because,
Okay.
Mom, it's working. I want to keep this up, but I don't want to take it during the day because I don't want to be that tired. So he'd go back to the 10,000 during the day and the 50,000 at night until he was healed. And it works. It's helped my husband. He takes the 10,000 milligrams at night, and he's great with not having his migraines anymore.
So then there is a benchmark for the higher concentrations, right? So in my hands, I've got
There
the
is.
3,000. Okay. So I think that it's, and I love the distinction between, so it's not just grabbing any any one of the tinctures. Is just based on how much of a support and what's scaled appropriately. So, okay.
Correct.
Okay.
And we have a questionnaire on our website that we like people to fill out, so I can kind of get a rough idea of where they might be willing to start or what might work for them. But every person will process CBD differently. So what might work for me won't work for you, or vice versa. So you have to try it for a week and then reevaluate and say, am I feeling great, or am I still feeling a little bit of what I don't want to feel? That's when you either raise or lower your dose.
Gotcha. Now I want to move on to the next one that we have. Our next slide is going to share more. And then this is the this is the Bud Palm. And I have this here, and talk a little bit about this. And this is the one that I really liked. I loved how moisturizing this is. Talk about this, and what can we expect from its benefits?
Okay, so this is the original Bud Balm that we made for our kiddo. And he put it on, and we did the lavender scent to our regular milligram bud balms, because we wanted it to have the soothing scent to it to relax you. And it's made with all natural organic coconut oil, and it's very smoothing. It feels kind of greasy going on, and then all of a sudden that grease is gone, and you just feel nice and calm and relaxed.
Yeah,
And that's what we did.
It doesn't feel heavy at all. And for someone like me who has darker skin, sometimes that the ashiness it tends to be a little more prominent. But of course, I have a little bit of I have a thumb injury that just has lingered over the years, and so this definitely, I like the smoothness of this. And now there's a distinction. So you have the Bud Balm, but then also I'd like to share with the audience, there's a difference between the Bud Balm and then you have the super strength Bud Balm, which is our next slide.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about this and then the distinction between the two.
So we have a regular strength, which is the lavender, and then we have a extra strength, and then we have the super strength.
Okay.
And they're the super strength and extra strength are both tangerine scented. They do not smell like menthol. They don't smell like dirt or grass. They have the all natural CBD isolate in there. And the difference between them is the sizes and the milligrams. So it just starts as a lower milligram 1 ounce and it goes up to our 4 ounce. And the 4 ounce 8,000 milligram is our strongest one that we make. And that seems to be one of our most popular items that people will purchase. And they love it because a 4 ounce tub of Bud Balm will probably last you about 6 months if you use it every day because you need so little of it. A little goes a long way.
Yes, and so I've got in my hands the 1 ounce, and so even so,
Mm.
it doesn't feel like it's tiny. It just feels like, and you're absolutely, and it smells light. It's not, there's no heaviness behind the scent at all. So it's very, very nice. And then
Thanks.
we want to share with our audience the next product that you have. And as we pull this up, this is, talk to us about this portion of the line. And in my hands, I've got the mosquito repellent lotion. Talk a little bit about this.
Right. So being from California, I had no idea what mosquitoes were.
Ah!
And we transplanted to Texas 4 years ago. And I'm like, what are these birds? And they're like, no, they aren't birds. They're mosquitoes. I go, they're huge and they just love me. And I don't like using products with DEET. It's just not good for your body. It's not good for your skin. It's not good for it. I mean, it gets absorbed into your body. And so I did a lot of research and realized that we could make a DEET free mosquito repellent. And not knowing what a chigger was, because they don't have those things in California, realized that they keep chiggers away and biting insects, biting flies, bees, mosquitoes. They keep all of that away from your body and allow you to go be outside. I mean, we put it on 4th of July and the mosquitoes just left us and they were attacking people around us. And they're like, what is that smell? And I'm like, it's mosquito repellent. Can we try it? Ours isn't working. So we ended up with an empty jar by the time we left. We had a lot of very happy people that were not getting bitten. So we sell it in the 2 ounce size and then we sell it in the 4 ounce size. And if you forget to put it on, we have something like in the picture called X-Itch, and that is for your bug bites instead of something like a Benadryl or over-the-counter bug bite medication that might get into your system and not be good for you. And it's also been shown in our testing that it's great for psoriasis and eczema. So if you don't want to take those medications either, our X-Itch is great for those ailments as well.
And you know what I like about this? It's not a strong scent. I mean, right now, you and I are meeting today. We've got a foot of snow that got dumped on us here, but I love the fact that that this is it's a very light scent. And listen, I've been to Texas in the summer, so I can remember those times where we were fighting for some sort of relief. But this smells very nice. I love the lemongrass scent to this, and I think this is quite incredible. So the next thing that we wanted to just highlight and share with our viewers is the face cream. Talk to us about this, and I've got this here in my hands. And tell us about the face cream.
So the face cream came when I wanted something other than what I could purchase at the store that cost me an arm and 3 legs. And this is when the collagen started becoming popular. And so we developed a collagen and CBD infused face cream. And I made it and I started using it, and I only used it on half of my face. And after about a week, my husband looks at me and he goes, honey, I think you need to go to the doctors. It looks like you've had a stroke, because half of my face was kind of like this and the other half was fine. And I go, no, I don't think I have. He goes, well, what are you doing? And I go, well, I made a new lotion with CBD in it and I'm using it on half of my face. He goes, stop. You need to put it on the other half of your face because you look horrible. He goes, I hope it was on that side of your face. I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, this one's droopy, so put it on the other side. So I did. And my mom even said, what are you doing? And I gave her some to try and my mother-in-law to try. And they both came back and said, keep this. I don't know what's going on, but everybody's asking me where I have my facelift because it looks so good. Like, well, that wasn't the intention of developing this. It was the intention to get smoother skin because CBD helps and nourishes your skin. And the collagen was just an extra boost. And then we started with one scent. We started with grapefruit, but then we tried a different scent and everybody seems to like it more. And it's very, very bizarre name, but it's an organic oil named Monkey Farts. So if you smell it, it smells it smells very tropical. It's very tropical and mango, pineapple, coconut, passion fruit scent.
Okay. I'm trying to, so I've got the 500 milligram here and obviously I haven't tried it yet, but, monkey farts. Okay.
Yes.
And, as I'm putting this on, ooh, this is okay. This feels nice. Now I've got the 500 milligram in my hand. What different concentrations does this have?
So it's got that 1 ounce, which is 500 milligrams, and then we also do a 2 ounce, which is 2,000 milligrams.
Okay.
So you got the two different sizes, and like all of our products, a little does go a long way. One little squirt, and you can put it on your whole face, and I think you're going to notice a good difference.
Yes, yes. We got one more thing that we want to show before we go to break, and this is something for our fur babies. Talk a little bit about the dog treats. This is definitely a treat.
Yeah, it is. And these we do organic beef that is freeze dried.
Okay.
And we put CBD with coconut oil on our beef, freeze dry it. And it is great for dogs that have separation anxiety. If they get totally scared and frightened of like 4th of July fireworks, if they are older and have the arthritis, it's great for that. And it's great to calm them down. So it's all natural, 1 treat for a smaller dog, 2 treats for a bigger dog. Each piece, doesn't matter if it's small or large, has the same amount of CBD on it because we hand place it on every piece. And it seems to be phenomenal. So the 4th of July, try to get it early because we sell out quickly. And then we're also seeing a very big run on New Year's Eve when people light the fireworks and the poor dogs and animals are scared. We've got somebody that gives it to their horse because it calms them during the 4th of July, the fireworks. And we also have guinea pigs and cats that use this.
Wow.
So it's not just the dogs.
Not just for them. We're going to take a quick commercial. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this. Thank you so much for watching The Health Revolution. Our show is growing, and it's all thanks to viewers like you. No matter how you found us, please hit the subscribe button so we can stay connected and continue to deliver amazing content to you. Hi everyone, welcome back to Fit Bites with Adriana. Today let's talk about simple stress reduction techniques to help you stay calm and balanced. Life can be very hectic at times, but there are easy ways to manage stress effectively. First, try deep breathing exercises. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and exhale through your mouth. Repeat this several times to calm your mind and your body. Another great technique is practicing yoga or stretching. Now, these activities not only reduce stress, but also improve flexibility and strength. Even just a few minutes a day can make a big difference. Taking a short walk, especially in nature, can help clear your mind and reduce anxiety. Physical activity releases endorphins, which are natural mood lifters. Don't forget the power of mindfulness. Spend a few minutes each day meditating or simply sitting quietly, focusing on the present moment. Now, this can help reduce stress and improve overall well-being. Remember, managing stress is essential for maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Incorporate these simple techniques into your daily routine and feel the benefits. Stay tuned for more Fit Bites with Adriana. Welcome back to the Health Revolution. We've been talking about the power of CBD. Our guest today, Dawn Norby, she's the founder of Budding Botanicals, and we've been discussing the line that they have and the incredible benefits that are there and what the products address. And Dawn, before the break, we started to go through all of these. There is one that I just wanted to highlight, and of course, thanks to you, I do have my hands on the CBD infused hand lotion. And can you say a few things about this one?
Basically, it's just like the salve, but if you don't want to have the thickness of the salve, that's the monkey parts too.
Oh, okay. I really like this scent. I just want to say.
Yeah. You use it as a moisturizing lotion, but it's also good for arthritis or any kind of joint pain that you might have.
Okay.
Put it where, like, if you want to just put it on your thumb where you've got the problems and just rub it in really well, you should find out a difference 30 seconds to 3 minutes.
Okay. Here I go as we're talking about this. And, I'm curious, can you share with us some misconceptions about CBD that you're still finding that you clarify when people are asking about what you offer?
Yes. The best and most often misconception I hear about CBD is that will get you high. And people are so afraid because the hemp plant is a cousin to the cannabis plant. They are not brother, sister, mother, daughter. They are cousins. And the biggest difference is the cannabis plant has CBD and THC. The THC is the psychoactive property that gets people high. The CBD is the part of the plant that comes from both of them, but the no THC from the hemp plant, that helps on pain, anxiety, arthritis, inflammation, things like that. So that is the biggest misconception. And I'm still trying to beat that into my father-in-law's head that CBD is safe. And he comes from that time where, no, it's a drug. And he had bad knee pain. And I said, I've got lotion. You want to try my lotion? He goes, I don't believe in lotion. I go, okay, well, then here's a cream. Put that on. He goes, well, what is it? And I go, it's just a cream. It's not going to hurt you. Try it. And he put it on and he goes, what's in this stuff? It works. We still have not told him it's CBD because he will not use it again if he knows. But CBD is all natural. Our bodies make it. We produce it in our body. We don't make enough of it to have it be a medicinal effect. So that, I think, is the biggest misconception. Our CBD being isolate, and it has nothing else in it but the isolated CBD, is safe for all ages. So you can give it to your toddler who is way hyper and can't control themselves or calm down, can't focus. It's great for the 95-year-old that has arthritis, that they can't pick up things. It's good for everything in between. And it's amazing that it seems almost weekly they're coming out with new tests on what can be used and how many different ways you can use it. So that's what's fascinating about this little plant.
And just out of curiosity, what are some best practices you do to stay on top of the emerging information on CBD and then the distinction between CBD and THC? What are some of your best practices?
A lot of education. I subscribe to a lot of medical journals and read, understand. A lot of testing is done. It's a good product when the pharmaceutical company is actually trying to break into the CBD and the THC business. They know that it can help immensely in many different ways. And they have now decided to work with it instead of against it because they know they can make a lot of money. My precaution there is when you buy a CBD product to try it, I don't care who you get it from or where you go, just make sure that it is processed naturally and there's no added chemicals, because that's what makes it not be as beneficial to you. So make sure, like anything you want to eat nowadays or do, make sure it's all natural and organic.
Yeah, I'm feeling like my thumb is feeling very good right now. So
Nice.
I'm liking this. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We are coming right back. Stay put. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this. Welcome back to the Health Revolution. An amazing conversation with founder of Budding Botanicals, Dawn Norby. It's all about the power of CBD. And Dawn, where can viewers find you in the virtual space?
So we are on Facebook at Budding Botanicals, and we are also on Instagram at budding_botanicals, I believe. Yes. And we are on Twitter or X, however you like to do that, at buddingca. And then we also have our website, which is buddingbotanicalsca.com. And if you can't get to it through Budding Botanicals CA, we're also Budding Botanicals USA or buddingbotanicalstx.com. So we're everywhere.
And you mentioned that you have a questionnaire that allows those who get on your page to share some information just to streamline the what would be most appropriate for them.
Correct.
Okay.
And the main question we ask is, are you on blood pressure medication? Because CBD can make your blood pressure go up and down, spike and drop with CBD. So there's only 2 types that it will do it to, but we always recommend speaking with your doctor beforehand, your physician, to make sure that CBD is right for you.
And thank you for that disclaimer. What do you have going on for the remainder of 2024 going into 2025?
Coming out with a couple new products. We are working on a hair care line, so that's exciting. And we actually just came out with a new line that helps with cold sores, fever blisters, and the RSV. So we're pretty excited about that product. Just continue to keep listening to our customers, and if they come up with new ailments that they want some help with, then we will try and figure out a way to help them naturally.
Now, are you global? So obviously throughout the United States, but in North America, across seas?
We sell to every continent except Australia, because Australia does not want CBD there. They are not educated and informed that it is a legal plant, and even our bodies make it. So we sell everywhere but to Australia.
So maybe story developing on Australia. That remains to be seen. Okay. This has been incredible, and I smell great. I will tell you that. So Dawn Norby, founder of Budding Botanicals, thank you so much for spending time with us today. This was very valuable to learn. Thank you for your input.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome.
Absolutely. And for our viewers, of course, you can find us on the web. Our website is thehealthrevolutiontv.com. There you can find our newsletter that you can subscribe to. You can also email us with any show episode ideas you'd love for us to cover. On the corner of your screen is our QR code, so feel free to grab that as the crow flies. And then, as always, you can expect to find us on E360 TV on every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on the Achieve TV channel. That is all the time that we have for today. Until next time, take care of yourselves. We will see you soon.